What if I told you that there's a financial tipping point, a number that isn't $1 million, but is actually way, way more important for changing your life? It's an amount that can completely rewire how you think and feel about money. Today, we're going to dig into why $20,000 might just be that magic number. So, when we think about getting wealthy, we're always told to shoot for these gigantic, kind of intimidating numbers, right? But what if the first, most critical step, the one that really changes the game, is something you can actually reach? What if the real magic number isn't about being rich, but it's about changing your entire future trajectory? Okay, this says it all. The myth we're sold is that you need a huge fortune to feel safe and secure. But the reality? The first major hurdle, the one that matters most, is just 20,000 bucks. It's the difference between fighting against financial gravity and finally having it start to work for you. I want you to think about building wealth like you're pushing a giant boulder up a hill. That first phase, getting from zero to your first real chunk of savings, is an absolute grind. I mean, you're straining, you're sweating, and it feels like you're barely moving. Honestly, this is where most people just give up. But that $20,000 mark, that is the magic moment. It's the point where that boulder finally gets to the top of the hill. And then, all of a sudden, the momentum shifts. The struggle gets easier, and the whole process starts to pick up speed, almost like it's happening on its own. Everything before this feels like a battle. Everything after feels like you've got an assist. So how does this whole transformation really happen? Well, we're going to break it down into 4 key parts. We'll kick things off with what's happening inside your brain. Then we'll look at how the math actually gets easier. After that, we'll explore all the new opportunities that open up, and we'll wrap up with the most important piece of the puzzle, the ultimate mindset shift. All right, let's dive into the most surprising part first. The biggest change that happens when you hit that $20,000 mark isn't actually in your bank account. It's inside your head. It's a complete psychological shift. So check this out. Our brains basically operate in one of 2 modes. Without a financial cushion, you're stuck in survival mode. Every single decision is filtered through this lens of fear and scarcity. But once you have that cushion, it's like a switch flips, and your brain shifts into growth mode. You finally have the mental space to think long-term, to be proactive, and to focus on opportunities instead of just playing defense all the time. And hey, this isn't just a feeling, all right? There's actual data to back this up. Research from Vanguard found that having just $2,000 in savings boosts your sense of financial well-being by a massive 21%. And when that grows to about 3 to 6 months of expenses, which for a lot of people is right around that 20K mark, your well-being gets another huge jump. That buffer is scientifically proven to lower your stress. It's real. Okay, so your brain is in a much better place. Now, let's talk about our second point, how the math itself actually starts to get easier. This is where that financial boulder really starts to turn into a snowball. This right here, this is the power of compounding in action. Let's say you're saving $1,000 a month. Getting to that first $20,000 takes about 19 months of just pure hard discipline. But your second $20,000, that only takes 17 months because your original money is now working for you. Now fast forward to when you have 400,000, that same 20K gets generated in just 5 months. And most of that is from your investments growing. The pace just keeps getting faster and faster. And this is where your returns start to feel, well, real. At an 8% annual return, a $20,000 portfolio generates $1,600 a year. That's about $133 a month that you didn't have to lift a finger for. It's money that just shows up because your money was out there working. This is the moment when investing stops being this abstract idea and becomes a real, tangible, powerful force in your life. So, with your mindset shifted and the math finally on your side, we get to our third section. That $20,000 safety net completely transforms your life from a series of threats you have to constantly defend against into a world of options that you actually get to choose from. Just think about an unexpected car repair bill. Before, that's a total disaster, right? It could derail your entire month, maybe more. But with a $20,000 cushion, it's just an annoyance. A broken laptop isn't a crisis anymore, it's an opportunity to get a better one. You literally move from a reactive state of panic to a proactive state of just solving a problem. This new security also gives you one of the most powerful tools you can have in your career, walking away money. It's that freedom of knowing you could quit your job tomorrow and be totally fine for months. You are no longer trapped by the desperate need for your next paycheck. And this creates an absolutely incredible positive feedback loop. You start negotiating from a position of strength, not desperation. That confidence makes you more assertive at work. People notice this, and you start getting better projects and bigger raises. And that, of course, just accelerates your savings, which gives you even more confidence and more walking away money. It's a beautiful cycle that just keeps building on itself. So, this brings us to our final and, I think, most important point. The money is great, don't get me wrong, but the real, lasting reward from saving your first $20,000 is the person you had to become to actually do it. You stop sweating the small stuff. Before, you'd waste so much mental energy agonizing over a $4 coffee. Afterwards, you realize that's totally irrelevant. Your focus shifts to the big levers, things like optimizing your housing costs, maximizing your income, and dialing in your investment strategy. You free up your brain power for the decisions that actually move the needle.
You also start to get this instinctive grasp of a really crucial concept, opportunity cost. You stop asking, can I afford the monthly payment? And you start asking a much, much more powerful question.
Take a look at this. That $30,000 car, it's not just a $30,000 decision. It's a $200,000 decision. Why? Because that's the opportunity cost. That's what that money could have grown into over 20 years if you'd invested it. All of a sudden, driving a reliable used car doesn't feel like a sacrifice. It feels like a smart, strategic choice to fund your future freedom. And that's really the heart of it all. Saving that first $20,000 isn't just about piling up some cash. It's an act of creating a new identity. You prove to yourself through months and months of discipline that you are the type of person who is in control of their financial destiny. And that skill, that belief in yourself, will pay you dividends for the rest of your life. Ultimately, crossing this threshold, it's about so much more than money. It's about agency. It's the transition from being a passenger in your own life, constantly just reacting to whatever comes your way, to grabbing the steering wheel and actively, intentionally designing the life that you actually want to live.